Hello, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV. We're back with another episode of Quick Tips for Catamaran Sailors. Let's get in. Okay, so here we are. We're going to take a look at the Mainsheet and traveller arrangement. This could be the same for any type of catamaran. Pretty standard for us here is that we use the end of the Mainsheet as the traveller control line. I find this is a good way to do it because it keeps everything tidy. We have a knot in here to stop the traveller from going out too far. So then we just thread this through the cleat, through the traveller car, and then through the fair lead on the back where we tie a figure of 8. And there's that done. Now, when would you want to have a separate traveller line? A good time to have a separate traveller line would be if your Mainsheet was too short, or perhaps if it's really tricky to thread the traveller and you wanted to leave that line on the boat permanently. Then in that case, we'll take this off. Here's a separate traveller line I've already prepared. I've cut this so it's just under the width of the boat, because it's going to go from here to the side and then back to the middle. So just under the width of the boat should be right. So I'm going to put it same as before, through the cleat, through the traveller car, and I'm going to tie that off there with a figure of 8 knot. And then what we want to do is make sure that the traveller can't go out so far but it will hit the end. So I'm going to leave it about 15 centimetres from the end of the track there, and then that's where I want to put the knot tying the 2 ropes together. Which knot to use? Well, that is your choice, but so we're going to tie that on there like that. So simple, I know. And then this one we're going to do exactly the same thing. Pull the 2 together, and in fact even with 2 ropes different sizes, that's a much neater arrangement. And we'll just make sure that is in the right place, yeah, so the traveller can't go out too far. Perhaps we trim the end off here, and there we are, separate traveller line for a bit of extra length on your Mainsheet. Okay, so what can you do when you're experiencing the tangled Mainsheet of doom like this? It's very important that your Mainsheet runs freely. This is not going to run at all, it's not even going to walk. So the method for untangling this is just take any of the ropes from the bottom block. So I'm going to take the middle one, run the hand along it until you get here, and then just pull that one through, and then there we are, back to normal. All right, maybe you think that was a fluke. Let's do that again. So really tangled mess there, so let's see if the same thing will work again. So we're going to take just any of them from here, just follow that rope along to the top block. That is really looking like quite a significant mess. And there we go, back to normal, ready to race. It's a good idea with your Mainsheet blocks, if you have got them out like this, not just to throw the blocks onto the trampoline, because that, even if you know how to get that tangle out, it is a pain. So instead what you could do, especially if you're using a snap shackle, check out my Amazon store if you haven't got one yet. You'll be able to find one on there. Just hook the top block onto something like the tramp lacing, the trapeze, and that means it's not going to get tangled up. Okay, so here we are with hoisting and lowering the jib. This is a good tip because this can save you looking rather foolish in the boat park. The first thing you should put on when you go to hoist your jib, and the last thing you should take off, is always the tack, the front bottom corner. So, and while we're into it, the best place to put the tack of the jib, third hole from the bottom. That will give us an optimal sail shape when the jib is up. The reason why we're putting the tack on first and taking it off last is because if you don't, when you hoist the jib, or drop the jib, if you lose control of the sail, perhaps because it's windy, the jib could end up halfway up the mast flapping like a flag, and you're not able to get it, and everybody in the boat park is laughing and pointing. You don't want that. Okay, so here we are, we've got 16 with the jib up. And do you ever have your forestay dangling like this, which will be constantly whacking into the sail, perhaps the luff? Then there is a way to tidy that up. Okay, so on our boats here at Wildwind, what we do is we use 2 chain plates on the forestay. So then what we can do when the forestay is up, we'll put some shock cord, and you only need to do this once, and then in theory that should be right for every time you go to put the jib up. So we put some shock cord on here, we'll pull it so it's tight enough to take the forestay away from the jib, and then I'm just going to tie that off using a reef knot. I'm just going to put an extra stopper knot in each end just to make that extra secure. And then there we are, the forestay is now away from the sail. Oh, no more slappy forestay on the jib, and there it is. Okay, so next, if you're sailing in a hot country, you don't want to wear a wetsuit, but you do have to wear a trapeze harness. This is a good one. To stop that trapeze harness pain, try wearing 2 pairs of shorts. This may seem crazy, but it can save you a lot of discomfort around the trapeze harness. Okay, so I've got my trapeze harness. Okay, so how do we go about adjusting our adjustable trapeze while you've clearly got your hands full and you haven't got a hand to put on the handle and one on the hook? Then what we do, firstly, if I don't have to hold anything at all, so if you're crewing and you need to change your height, what you could do is just slightly take the weight off on the handle, and then the way we uncleat this is by pulling it down and out, and then we can lower ourselves down or up, but we're using the hand on the handle there a bit just for security. Okay, so then if we're having to steer the boat at the same time, what we'll do is we'll transfer the stick, the main sheet, into the stick hand, and then to take the weight off the rope, what we're going to do is a little flick of the hips, like, and that just lifts you up just for a second, which is enough to go up or down. And then if we want to go up again, we're just going to do that little flick. Now it looks like I need a new cleat on this trapeze, so I don't want to let go, so yeah, new cleat required on this trapeze. because that is slipping a bit. But that's the technique, the flick of the hips for going up and down. Flick of the hips, and then we're in, and then to go back up, flick of the hips, and there we are, we're winning. Thank you very much. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope this has been very useful to you, and there's something there that you can implement with your catamaran sailing. If there is anything that you're getting stuck with on your boat, please do let me know and I'll see what I can do to clean that up for you. Otherwise, thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel. It is possible for you to come out here to Wild Wind Sailing Holidays in Vasiliki in Greece and be a part of this champagning sailing that we have out here on a regular basis. So thanks very much, and we'll keep them coming.